On today's episode of Identity, joining us for coffee this morning is the entrepreneur and author Zareef Minty. We hang out with a Hillbrow musical group who's keeping the youth motivated and inspired. What's APPenning features the review of a Bible quiz app. We also review the book I Was Born for This by Sibusiso Mfeka. And we play out with a track Indwe Iyana.
I am an individual with an imagination. My inner faith illuminates innovations in a space with infinite inspiration. I was born free from all incarceration. Incredible, living infallibly, intelligent, outshine with my inner being. This is me, impeccable as ever been. I am you, you are me. This is my identity.
Good morning and welcome to your favorite multi-faith show on SABC 1, i-Identity. I'm your host, Viewer Kwala. Ndiqinisekile uyilinde ngamehlo abomvu impela veki ende ezayo njengoba ngomso ililanga lenkululeko. While you enjoy the day, do remember that this day celebrates freedom and commemorates the first post-apartheid elections held on the day in 1994. We certainly appreciate this milestone in our country's history. Undwendwe lwethu olubalulekileyo kwi-coffee shop yethu namhlanje ligatyana elize ngobuso elizweni elizimisele nokujongana nayiphi na imeko nokugqitha nayiphi na imigca ebekwe phambi kwayo. Zareef Minty is here to tell me how and why he is inspired to do that. At 21 years old, a law student at the University of the Witwatersrand, a motivational speaker who started his own clothing line and a talent company called SMB, Zareef Minty is also currently publishing his first book called Empire. He's also a weekly contributor for News 24 in South Africa and is still set on achieving much more. Zareef, wow, thank you so much for joining us on Identity and actually fitting us into your hectic schedule.
It's only a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Great. So how did you grow up?
I grew up in the Northwest. I grew up in Klerksdorp. It's a very farm town, you know, just everyone has a certain mindset. And it's just nice to, you know, come out of Klerksdorp and, you know, build up and try to, you know, build yourself as a brand in the big city, I guess. But yeah, I enjoyed my time in Klerksdorp. I think, you know, it's a very nice place to settle down one day. But yeah, it's quite nice.
Small town boy.
Small town boy.
So when it comes to law, you know, your passion for law, how did that come about?
My dad's a criminal lawyer. He's been a criminal lawyer for about 35 years now. So, and my sister studied law. My brother studied law. So, like, my whole family's been involved in law. It's something that we've been so, you know, comfortable entering into. But at the same time, I really enjoy, like, you know, finding solutions to problems, and also, you know, trying to rectify any wrongs made in society and in the public. So, I think, you know, that's probably one of the main reasons why I wanted to get into law as well.
I'm confused because, you know, you've got your own company. You know, you are writing a book. You're doing so many things. So how important is it rather to have a purpose in your life?
I think it's very important. I think, you know what, at the end of the day, it's all about, faith plays such an important, you know, role in your life. I think at the end of the day, you have to be someone who, diversification is so important in business, but if you're not grounded as a person and you don't have morals and values and you don't know actually where you're headed, you know, direction is so important. Without that, you won't be able to really, you know, build yourself up and achieve what you really want to achieve in life. So I think faith is such an important aspect.
And I touched up in the intro about you having your own clothing line and your own company. How did that come about?
I started SMB. It's actually called Self-Made Billionaires. I started it off in when I was 16 years.
Self-Made Billionaire. I like that.
It was the whole, you know, the whole ambitious side to the whole brand. So at that stage, there wasn't really anyone involved in, you know, T-shirt sales. It was a very niche market in that sense. But there was a huge demand for it as well. So I ended up into that whole industry, and I think it was such a good learning curve for me. I learned so many good things, you know, experiences. I learned so many morals and values, characteristics of business as well. And I met like amazing people throughout the whole process, and it's still doing pretty well. I mean, it's sold now to corporate companies. So, you know, it's a very different market than to the public, but it's doing very well. Very happy with the brand.
Okay, and in a country that lacks reading skills, I know you're working on your book, Empire.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about that.
And Empire should actually involve getting other people involved as well. So it's about realigning young people's mindsets, teaching teaching them about networking, teaching them about, building up yourself as a brand so that you can assist people around you, so that you can, when you go out in the public sphere, or when you put up a tweet, for example, you always know it's something that you actually thought of before you put it up. You're not going to make any mistakes. Exactly. And it's, constantly improving yourself. There's a thing called a 16-week challenge in the book. So it's all about, just at the end of the day, you go through a 16-week process, and then you reevaluate what you've actually done in those 16 weeks. And then it's a way to actually help you to see where you actually headed in the future and how you're progressing through time. And it's all these small little steps that make such a big difference to young people actually achieving their dreams and their goals. So yeah, I think it's very important. The book is something I believe is a solution to a lot of young people's problems. And I always say this on many different interviews that a future president of South Africa will be someone who actually started his journey reading Empire.
Wow, I love that. A great leader is a reader. When it comes to your challenges, I mean, you're young, you're only 21. What challenges have you been through, because you've got accolades of achievements?
I think I've been through a lot, like many young people. Everyone, you always see people in the public sphere and you look at them in the best way of them. Everyone behind closed doors goes through a lot of things. I mean, I've been through businesses that have failed. I've been through political decisions where, I didn't agree with it, but I had to go through with it because it's a political party that you're with. I went through, different corporate lifestyles where you actually get used to it through VAC work, and you sit down and you think, is this really for you? Is this not for you? And there's all different spheres of, of different industries that you get involved in. But I think throughout all these struggles, you actually learn more about yourself. You learn how to find your identity, like the show is actually called. And I wouldn't want it any other way. I would want us to actually go through a process where we go through as much as we can, learn as much as we can, go through failures, let that be lessons in your life, and then move forward from there. It's really, really important.
How much has your faith impacted you as an individual?
Look, faith plays such a huge role. Like I'm Muslim, and I believe in the Islamic faith. Sure. I've always had a very strong family where we've all been very religious, and it plays such an important role, like morals and values, and making sure even though it's a business, when you enter a business sphere, for example, it's all about, it's a whole cutthroat idea of it. But at the end of the day, you also learn the difference between differentiating between entering into an environment where you're going to hurt someone personally, or it's just for business. And all of those concepts are so important when it comes to religion. And you also learn about treating people with respect, teaching them having respect for the people around you, whether they in a better position than you or in a worse position than you. It's all about building yourself up in such a way that you would want anyone else to treat you in that way as well. So I mean, religion plays such an important role.
And when it comes to you looking at yourself now, what advice would you give the younger you?
There's so much you can actually sit down and tell a young person or yourself at the age of 13. But I think the main thing is, go out there and don't let anyone stop you from achieving your goals. I think it's so important that people in today's society, it's not that we're skilled or we're not skilled, or we have a certain talent or we don't have a certain talent. People are skilled, they learn it, they're educated, we have all of those stuff to us. The fact is, young people are just scared to fail. We're so scared that, people around us are going to think, this person failed and we're going to ridicule them, or think it's mediocre. But that's the reason why a lot of people don't actually reach their dreams. So I want, if I could actually tell myself at the age of 13 what you should do is don't wait for validation from anyone. Go out there and achieve whatever you want to achieve. Go and dream big and smash all your dreams. And it's so important. Work hard, because working hard is the solution to every single problem.
Okay, we've been serious up until this point, so I have a quick quiz for you, and please answer it as honestly as possible.
Sure.
Okay. So the first question is, if you could be in anyone's shoes right now, who would that person be?
Patrice Motsepe, without a doubt.
And what would you prioritize if you were president for a day?
I think youth empowerment. I think youth empowerment is so important in our country.
Yeah. One word that best describes you?
Ambitious.
Extreme sports or sports cars?
Sports cars.
Thank you so much, Zareef, for joining us on Identity and imparting your inspiration to us.
Perfect. Thanks so much for having me on the show. I really enjoyed it.
Zareef Minty is certainly an inspiration for many young people out there, and we wish him and his businesses all the success as he continues to make his mark. Maseke City Kwe, Evenkelin, and when we come back, our regional story takes us to some musical sounds in Hillbrow.
This is my identity. is my identity.
Thank you for tuning into Identity right here on SABC1. I'm Viwe Kwala. Uba usandungena, you've missed the first part of the show where we spoke to a very talented entrepreneur and author, Zareef Minty. But we still have loads of infotainment still to come, which includes our popular techno-savvy segment. We recently received a Twitter message from Natasha Malipane in Hillbrow inviting us to come and experience the musical production rehearsals with her peers in Irene Church. Here's what she wrote. Hi Identity, my name is Natasha Malipane from Mould Empower and Serve. I'd like to invite you to our musical production rehearsal at Hillbrow Theatre. All our themes are perfectly made around an inspirational message to encourage young people to better their lives and the communities they are from. As you know, our team never passes up the opportunity to share spiritually uplifting and enriching cultural, religious or community observances. Samkele isimemo sabo saya eHillbrow Irene Church apho sibone indlela abazimisele ngayo nabakhuthazana ngayo. Let's take a look.
This is my identity.
Kaleboga Identity team for joining us here at Mould Empower Serve Youth Musical Production. We are very happy to have you here. Libitso la ka ke Natasha Malipane, and we are outside Irene Church in Doornfontein. We are preparing for our upcoming event, so more street dance and fun and games will be seen today. So let's go inside and see if they've started without us. I am here with Miriam Moreki, Youth Coordinator of Youth Clubs and After School Programs here at MES in Power Mould. Miriam, when was MES established and why?
It was established in 1986 by the Dutch Reformed Church when they realized there's a need in the city because of poverty, and it started as a soup kitchen.
Besides changing the heart of the city, what other changes are you making within the city?
The main focus also is to take the people that are underprivileged in the inner city, and we teach them different kind of skills by training them through the computer skills, free to grow, and then after that we are helping these people so that they can be able to sustain themselves and be able to stand on their own.
Musical production is one of the activities that the youth enjoy. What other youthful activities has the organization created?
We are doing after-school program whereby we take the primary school going children and we help them with their homework, and then after that we give them a meal before they can go home. We also have youth clubs in the primary school, and then we also have the Joshuas. It is the young people that are doing the 8th theater. They go out to schools to incorporate with the children in the schools through values and morals.
MES has been going on for a very long time. What has kept MES going for so long?
I believe it's God. If God was not on our side, we wouldn't be able to go on, and we have seen God providing for the organization over the years.
How do you merge your organization with Christian beliefs?
And we believe as an organization, it is important that we portray Mudimu. And because we need to give hope to the people, and we cannot give hope resena Mudimu. So Mudimu is playing a big role, and that is why we are merging the two, because we realize that without the other one cannot make it.
Thank you, Miriam. We have heard how God plays such a huge role here at Mould Empower Serve, and how the musical productions help the kids get out of the streets. Thank you. I'm here with Kanyim Timunye, Joshua Coordinator. Kanyim, when did you join the organization and what initiative did you take?
I joined this organization in 2013, and I joined it because I heard about it, and the minute I heard about it, I was like, wow, what an awesome program. I was working in corporates and I was just not happy. I knew that God had called me for something where I work with people on the ground.
Please tell us more about the musical productions and when did they begin?
The musical production started in 2011. There was an outreach in 2010 because of the World Cup, and from there they realized that why must we only stop in 2010? So why don't we actually continue with this? And so they started in 2011 with their first official production that the teenagers performed in Hillbrow Theatre.
Do you think the musical productions play an impact in the teenagers' lives?
Absolutely. I think they absolutely do, because even this story itself, they get to perform it every day. I mean, for like 4 months, they're working very, very hard, and that helps them to actually internalize what they are doing. So the story is not just for the people who are going to be watching, but it is for them, and they get to master something. So they get to dance, they get to perform and show people their skill, and that makes them happy. It boosts their self-confidence. It makes them believe that they can do even greater things than just what is expected of them or what other people say that the youth is capable of.
I'm here with my friend Caroline. Caroline, wanneer het jy die program aangesluit?
Die einde van 2012.
Hoe kom jy die program aangesluit?
Ek het uitgevind van die program en het het gelyk soos 'n baie goeie program vir my en iets wat ek sal geniet.
I'm here with my friends Robin and Lepato. Lepato, u join the link program and why we join it?
I joined the program in 2004. It was actually in primary school. Yeah, they had after-school lessons for us, and my parents actually are the ones that advised me to join the program because they knew that it will have a good impact in my life.
Robin, why did you join the program?
I joined the program because I love dancing and I love God, so I wanted to grow my connection with Him spiritually even more.
Thank you, Identity team, for joining us here at MES. You have seen how we change the heart of the city through our musical production and dance, and how we take Christ in our lives and He is part of our identity. Thank you very much. Back to you guys in studio.
Kuyakhuthaza usoloko ubona ulutsha lwalapha eMzansi living out their faith and taking pride in the things that make up their identity. Thank you to Natasha and her community for sharing their story with us. If you would like to share your story with our Identity viewers, simply send an email to identitytvshow@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you. After this commercial break, we take a look at this week's app Bible quiz and we preview a book, I Was Born for This. Ungayindawo, siyabuya.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Ndikubulele mbukeli ngohlala nami apha kule nkqubo i-Identity elam igama nguViwe Gqwala. Here's a quick recap of today's show so far. We got the ball rolling on an inspired note with Zareef Minty, author and businessman. We then headed off to Hillbrow at Irene Church, where we experienced a musical production with our Encounters presenter, Natasha Malebane. Now on to this week's media review segment. Here is What's Happening. If you've ever thought that knowing the whole Bible would take you forever, well, it might be true, but there's an easier and fun way to read and get to know the Bible by simply getting yourself this Bible quiz app. Let's check it out. See how well you know the facts from the Old and New Testament, facts about Moses, Jesus and his apostles, and other characters of the Bible. Answer the questions about Adam, Eve, Abraham, King David, King Solomon, and other biblical figures, and test your knowledge of the Holy Book of the Christians. This app has features such as 3 different game modes. For a single player, it has this type of questions to choose from: 10 questions, 25 questions, 50 questions, and 5 errors out. It has iPad multiplayer and it provides the same amount of questions. It also has Game Center challenges, 4 sets, 5 questions each. Choose the correct answer from A, B, C, or D? Answer the questions quickly and avoid giving incorrect answers to get higher rankings. Answer the question worth more than 2,000 points and get Scandalous Score Booster. 5 errors out. Your single player game lasts until you choose 5 incorrect answers. This app will get you clued up on your scriptures, so get it on your app stores now. I definitely need to polish up my Bible knowledge, but it was fun nonetheless, and if you don't have this quiz, you are totally missing out. It's available now on app stores. On to this week's book review now. We take a look at a very enlightening story of how you can make your mark that cannot be erased in this world on Sibusiso Mfeka's book, I Was Born for This. Let's page through. It's essential for every human being to understand that it is important for them to know why they were born. This book focuses on the conception, pregnancy, and birth of a human being and why you went through all that you did. Whilst you're trying to discover that reason, this book tells you that you are crowned with the glory and honor of God, and He has declared you a winner, whilst the standard of this world says you have to fight or run faster to be a winner. This book makes you understand what purpose is and how to find it and activate it. In a world where people are struggling to understand their purpose, there is a need for coaches who can assist with discovery of purpose. An intelligent man once remarked that when people don't know what their purpose in life is, the abuse becomes the norm. This book references a lot from scriptures in the Bible to reassure you that weakness and background should not stop you because there is a warrior in you. Your peers and family might sideline you from time to time, but when God says it is your time, He will bring people from all nations to help you. Nothing happens in your life that God is not aware of. If you've been wondering about what your purpose in life is, then you've come to the right place because this book will definitely give you a direction towards knowing what you are here for. This book is available now. Siphelela apho ke isiqendu sethu sanamhlanje. Let us know which part of the show is your favorite, as well as what you thought about today's lineup. Simply write to us and share your story, or join in on our weekly conversations on identitytvshow@gmail.com, or follow us or like our Facebook page at identitytvshow. Nibeni nemini emnandi ngalecawe kwaye nibe nombulelo ngelanga lenkululeko esizabe silibhiyozela ngomso. Before ending the show, here are some words of wisdom from Emeritus Archbishop Desmond Tutu. In my country of South Africa, we struggled for years against the evil system of apartheid that divided human beings, children of the same God, by racial classification, and then denied many of them fundamental human rights. Well, that's it from me, Viewer Kwala, and the Identity team. Let me love and leave you. Until next time, God bless, and here is a music video, Indwe Iyana. Do enjoy.